Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope YouTube is treating you well. As we left off last week, we got the front window seal in. Now, we're moving on to the back of the 64 now. Hope everyone is doing well. So, back to another part of the 64. We're going on the rear dash valance or cover or whatever you want to call it. So here we are onto that rear panel. And she's well chewed. The mice has completely chewed this whole thing out. They've chewed right through the side. It's a mess. The downside is that this is a molded piece of something. You can see the mold lines in it. It's beveled, it's shaped, it's rigid. For the most part, it's pretty good. It's got a little bit of a warp to it in the middle, but nothing serious. But the biggest thing is these speakers hole are a disaster. So we're gonna peel off all the red cloth. Look at the color. Look how bright that used to be compared to what it went to. But we're going to peel all that off. We're going to throw on a mask because it's still dusty. We'll see what's underneath, and then we'll fit it back in the car and see what it actually looks like. All right, that cloth pulled off pretty easy. You can tell that it was put on after the fact. Someone had added that to it, and you can see where the glue was attached here. There was nothing up here. This is all just loose laying there. But they rubbed a little glue on it. Probably tried to make it look a little nicer back in the day. But it fits nice and tight against the back of the car where it goes down to the seat, and it fits good. There's no wobbling, no warping. It's all nice and flat. But this is an issue. When we look at the back here, I can see that from when the car was when I first originally got it. You could see the big open section. Now down here on the side, it's where it's probably supposed to be. The rubber seal that goes in here almost touches the metal frame, and it would come up probably with another 3/4 to an inch over top of it, so it covers up most of it. But I guess over the years, this thing has warped and gotten wet and condensation, and what I need to do is find a way to get it brought back down, just like that. Just down that little bit. It wouldn't take much. It'll just close in that gap so that when that rubber goes on, the glass goes in, and then it gets the stainless steel cap that goes around it. It'll cover that up. It'll hide it. Now, I don't know if there's... I guess I might be able to put some kind of rubber or a foam edge around it just to extend it, and then when I recover it, it would kind of hide it. But what I'm really thinking is with an iron, maybe I could steam this edge. Now, this is like a wood product of some kind, or some kind of cardboardy product. But I'm thinking if I can steam it, flip this over, put some weight on it, just to bend that lip down and let it sit for a couple days, whatever, just to kind of take that shape and get it down as close to this edge. The other edge over here is pretty good as well too. It doesn't have the warp in, like this is kind of warped. It's just up. So all I have to do is get that to come down that little bit, and I think that seal will cover it up as well too. So, yes, giving thought to that back dash, I got to figure out how things fit together. So I've been out here messing around. What we have here, of course, these are all the front trims for the front doors. We went over that before. These are my covers, trim covers for the B pillars. These three pieces, so actually there's more. These are all pieced together. They all slide apart. There's little sliders and they all kind of clip together. This part is for the upper sides and around the back of the rear window on the inside. Then we have these trims here, which is the lower part of the rear window coming down the side of the chassis, and it comes into these panels, which we'll have to make new ones as well. It's that fiber board again, and they're just a mess. So that's part of it. And then we have the three parts that are for the front windshield. So today, this is what I needed to find. So I've taken this out. This is all the stuff for the rear. And I've been messing around trying to remember how it all fits in here. It covers in the sides really nice for aesthetically looking. Everything's great. I was really hoping there was a piece down here. There are some holes, but they might be water holes or ventilation holes or something. Hoping that there was something that went in there that kind of took up that gap, but I don't remember it. But I was hoping, but no, it's not there. But also going through, picking out those metal pieces, they'll have to be painted as well at some point. The sheer amount of stainless steel that has to be polished and cleaned up for the trim. There's a few pieces that have been done, but all this is just all the trim work that goes on the outside of the 64. This is all the outside. None of this trim goes on the inside of that car. Yeah, so you saw that pile over there. This is more of it again. Now, it's kind of cool, though. Going through this, it's kind of like a little trip down memory lane. I'm remembering taking things apart and trying to remember what things are. And you know, one thing I forgot about, almost forgot about, are all these rods. There is 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of them. There's 4 rods that look like this. And this is really weird. It's a triangle steel, and it's a spring steel. And for 4 rods, there are also 4 pieces of stainless steel with that funny little end on it, just like that go with them. And what that is the suspension system for the roof of the 64, for the interior. It's a funky cloth, and I reached out to a couple people of how do they make them or where do they get them. And Mopar guys, I appreciate it, but holy God, is it pricey to get upper skin made for this car. So we have the sewing machine. That'll be coming. We are going to attempt it. It's quite the thing. You need 4 pockets for this to slide into on the inside, make it nice and smooth on the outside, and then when it's done, the stainless steel arch that clips up on the inside of the car to help hold it up as well too, but gives it that really nice look. So it's gonna be different. There'll be a lot of learning coming. This was a lot of learning here. There was a lot of hard work. I'm not a finishing guy. I'm more of a, beefy, build an engine, cut steel. The final finish, that's where I struggle with. I struggle with that fine finishing. But we'll get to it. But anyway, I'm down to my seats here, which I want to try to stuff them in here and get them in the proper place. I want to see how the back of this molds in to that seat. All right. The rear seat is in, and it is in the proper location. Hooks are on the bottom. I got the 4 hooks clipped into the top, so it is where it's going to go. Now, it's kind of in my mind, not disappointing, but my original plan not going to work. I was really thinking the back of the seat was much higher and closer to the top of this rear, whatever you want to call this thing. The rear deck, anyway. The rear dash. But it's quite a bit lower, probably about 2 to 3 inches. Which is okay. I just got to come up with another idea. It's just a shame that this thing is actually not that bad a shape. Once you cover this up, you won't see this. Cut the holes out better. Cut some more panels and square them up in here where all the mice chewed it all apart. And then, just work on this. I think I'm going to end up giving this a better chance in my mind. I'm not going to give up on it yet. It fits nice. It's got that nice curve to it. I do like that. And I think that's what I'm going to concentrate on a little bit. I am going to try to save that. What a time. The 60s. Can you imagine? Sitting in the back of this thing just floating down the highway. It's like an eternity. It's a mile up to the dash in the back seat here. I got the seat back to where I like it from when I did the test drive. Me sitting in the back here, I still got like 1.5 feet or more to the back of that seat. And there's just so much room in these things. In my headroom, I probably got another 8-9 inches above me. But geez, what a time this would have been cruising in these all the time. Bunch of kids heading to the drive-in, floating down the road. Probably having some wobbly pops for the dirt drive and the trunk. Because, you know, I'm sure you can fit at least 4 or 5 people back here. All right, so I moved back in here and I started putting on some trim, trying to figure out exactly how all this is going together. Not just this back panel, which more and more I'm feeling better about this, but I have to incorporate the roof covering somehow into this back trim, which is part of the back panel as well too. So I want to start putting it together, see how it fits. This is our hardboard. These are those wooden panels, just like what the doors are made out of, with a piece of vinyl over it, which we can make no problem. That's good. The pieces fit on here fairly well. I thought they were all bent, but they're actually just following the bumps through the car. It's fit and finish just was not there back in the day. But I guess also they didn't have all the plastic parts that they could, you know, computer form to fit. But I have everything in here. It's lined up really good with this back cover, and I have it set in. It has my nice gap here on this side for the rubber to fit in here, the rubber window seal. And then at the top here, this is where the roof panel is going to go in. The cloth, it's there's a bunch of teeth. I don't know if you can see them here. There's teeth all along here. So you get hooked on either the front or the back, either or, and it's stretched tight. So it's hooked on the front, it's stretched tight, and it's pulled over and hooked onto the teeth here. And then of course, all the suspension bars that I showed yesterday, those 5 bars, they fit in all these funny little grooves here all the way along. And the front one's almost flat. The next one got a little more curve. Fourth one's got a little bit of curve. The last one though goes all the way down here and all the way up. It makes a huge curve, so it's really pushing that in tight there. And it's actually, those bars are between the roof and the top of the fabric on these loops that are made and sewed in there and helps suspend it and hold it up. Now, with that, there's other trim pieces too that are, I don't know how. I would love to see this done properly. If anyone knows a video on YouTube of how the interior of the B-body roof or ceiling panels put in, that would be great. I have all the parts. Now, they're rough. I'll give you that. But this is not that. But all this are all the components that hold the upper panel to the ceiling, or to the sides, I guess. And these are how they work. Again, all teeth. There's little teeth in everywhere. And that's part of the original material there. But they're all teeth. So somehow you got to get this piece like hooked onto it, but at the right spot and right distance, so that you can see there's a square hole there. They got these funny little clips. You put them in straight and then you twist them. And they lock themselves in. But that would be one right there going up the side. And then of course I got them that go all the way down the side of the car. And then of course there's a front cover that covers the front ones. But I really need to find a video of a detail shop that actually shows this going in. Now the downside is the ones that are in the front, there's no saving the end of this thing. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. It's, of course, this is where you go up to the front of the doors, where they're kind of, one window was broken, the little square, and the other door was left open. So they've really gone to pot. They've rotted right out. I'm going to straighten them up the best I can. This is definitely nothing I can weld to. It is so thin of whatever is even close to being left to it. But a possibility of fabricating something out of tin and maybe riveting it together. But it's 4 pieces, right? There's the 2 at the back, the 2 long ones that do the whole side of the car, and then the front molding. These ones here, they cover it up in the front. And the teeth for the top are here. There's no teeth down the sides though. The teeth are in the front for sure for grabbing it and stretching it on. But as for the sides, I'm not 100% sure, because I can't remember, but I have two of these odd things. No teeth on them, but I'm wondering, if you look at that curve there, somehow that fits in there and holds that on so I can put the cap on over top of it. Now, as for other fit and finish, it was definitely crude back in the day. This edge, this metal edge, I think is just left open, just like this. No rubber, no seal, no nothing on it. That panel, that hard panel, you can see it was never really to shape. It's just hanging right over. We definitely make that better. The seats are quite a gap. There's over an inch gap here on each side. So the carpet, when I do the carpet, it only comes up like halfway. I don't even think it comes the whole way underneath the seat. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that to either add in some carpet or get this sprayed in a semi-gloss black or something. Just, 6 inches down each side. Just kind of hide that. Now, as for the panel though on the bottom, I have those. But they're relatively crude as well too. So I line them up with the existing holes in the floor. Like, just a big open hole of nothing. And I have no pieces. There's no other pieces I have here that could fit even close into there. And I've kept everything. Every single piece that's come off, I've kept it. So, again, I'd love your guys' help. If any of you know any builders on here that have built the B-Body series and have done the interior. And of course, just like everything I've done here, I know a lot of people, the videos are slow, like too long. But I want those details. Those are the things I don't get to see. And that's what I'm hoping, that all these little things that I do, people get to see those little things as well too. But now I'm to a point where, not that I have no idea, but I don't understand how you could stretch this panel out regardless. If I even had a factory one, how would I stretch that properly? How would I hook it to those bars? I don't know. And to top it all off, there's a big void here of nothing. Panel up top, it grabs it here, but how does this all work? I don't know. I'm thinking hard. My brain's burning. And I imagine that's going to be the next little while is going to be just trying to piece this together and figure out exactly how all this is going to work. Oh, brain power. I need a little more. So I'm out here still messing around with this rear dash cover. From this angle, looks perfect. That's what I want to see. There's a little gap. But angles are everything. Angles are everything for sure. So yeah, put some weight on here. I've got the rest of my trim pieces in where they're gonna go. And I tell you, man, the fit is not good at all. I am not happy with that at all. I'm in the original holes, and that's just the way it was from factory. We're gonna try to make that a little better, make it line up a little better. But this is my thing here. This needs to be right there, and it's not taking too much. Not taking too much at all. And actually, if I get this part here down, it almost takes care of, I'd say, about a third of it, just by working it there. Over on this side, it's a lot less. There's a lot less force needed to put it shit down, which really isn't that much force anyway. Got 2 tool kits and my battery booster in the middle there, and that's able to hold it down, and it works out pretty good. So, plan is going to be take off all the trim. This here just slips in and out. Weights back on, or steam it, and get the weights back on before it dries out, and hope that it doesn't swell up too much. Now, steaming it, just trying to figure out what's going on, or what to do about that. And I got a plan. So I ended up pulling out that panel. It was just too tight in there to try to get it up to get it steamed and get it wet. But I think this is going to work. So I got the iron out here. I was very careful not to touch anything. Don't need the wife yelling at me and getting upset with me. Still clean, perfectly clean. Never actually ironed anything, just to steam what I wanted. And it's got a button on it here. One you can squirt water, and the other one just shoots steam straight out the bottom, which is good. So I got that edge moistened up, got the heat to it, so I could feel the heat coming through the other side, and it actually started turning the material a little bit different, like a purpley color as it heated up. And then I flipped it over quick, put my weight on it, and I never really planned in my mind of what I was going to set on it for weight, so I just started grabbing random things around off the bench here to get it on there. But there was enough water that it was dripping off when it was getting done. So we'll let her dry up. I'll leave this on here for a couple days anyway. It'll give it memory as well. Not only make sure it's dry, but it'll just give it that memory as well, holding it down. And with any luck, we'll throw it back on the 64. And that edge will be just below, even or just below the metal rib where the seal goes on. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for stopping by Duchesne's Corner. It's a sunny day, but it is minus 34 outside there. Catch you again later.